Hey guys, so I'm gonna do a movie review, and I was just having dinner and was watching something for a bit, and now I'm gonna do a review of the movie I watched about an hour or two ago. So I went to see the prison movie Wasteman, a UK prison show, not show, so movie, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a good movie. So what it was about? It was about a guy who was obviously in prison for something. Oh, I can't remember what it was. I think it was for assault on someone. But anyway, he's inside and he was also on drugs, so he had to sign up to do like a drugs and alcohol course, and it also at first like showed people getting beat up and people on drugs, having mobile phones, just stuff like that. And then he has a new cellmate. This guy who's his cellmate is a very arrogant prick. He's very cocky. And he's just thinks he's all lit, right? So he comes in, he's being cocky to the officers who let him into the cell to go in with him because they got bunk beds, bottom and top. And yeah, and at first he's just such a cocky prick. But they start talking, and then he wants him to like keep drugs for him in the cell, and also he's got a mobile phone, and this will come into it later. So they're connecting a bit more, but going to what was mainly the main story of the film. So I'm gonna try and keep this review under 15 minutes because I went a bit longer last time. Tomorrow, me and my mate Matt are going to see the Charlie XCX movie, so that could be between 10 to 20 minutes. But back to this review. I'm gonna try and keep it under what I just said. But back to the movie. He calls his ex-girlfriend, right? They both had a kid. I think the kid's a teenager, like a 14-year-old or something like that. And then he talks to her, and she tells him as soon as he calls, "I don't want to talk to you." And he said, "I've changed now. I'm changing." He said, "I don't believe you. Last time I spoke to you, you was off your head, and I don't want to have contact with you, and I don't want you near my son." And he said, "Please let me just see him. Let me have a relationship with him." And I did feel sorry for him because unless a person's very abusive to their child or, treats them really badly, but if they don't and they're a good dad to that kid, I don't think no mum should stop the dad seeing the kid. I think they should let the kid have a relationship with the dad if the kid wants that. So I did have some empathy for him on this, but so yeah, he said, "I want a relationship with Adam." That was his son's name, and his son had a big role in the movie. He was one of the bigger. It was the biggest story to be involved in the movie. Definitely played towards the end of the movie. And then she says, "No, don't call me again," and hung up the phone on him. Then he got really upset, as any dad would, obviously, if he thinks he won't see his kid again. Then he tells his cellmate of what's been going on, and that his ex ain't letting him see his kid. And then because he's got a mobile phone, he then looks up the kid on some kind of social media app. I think it might have been Instagram or Facebook. I don't know. I don't know what social media app it was, but it was some kind of social media app. And for them to have that phone in there, that phone must have data, because without data, you ain't getting on the internet. So that must have got brought in and had mobile data on, because in prison, because my dad was inside, they don't have internet. The prisoners don't have access to the internet. So yeah, the only way they're accessing the internet is if through mobile data on a smartphone. And it was a big phone, so really the officers didn't really do the cell checks well at all, because he had drugs, the big iPhone. It was like a big phone, and a few times they nearly got caught, but they got away with it through the whole time. But he phones him, and he then tells him, "Hey, I found your son. Do you want to speak to him?" And he said, "Oh, thanks." Then he messages him. He says, "Look, hey," and then his son asks, "Oh, who's this?" He said, "Oh, it's your dad." And at first, his son thought someone was pranking him, so he called the number. Well, he called him to make sure it was him, and then it was him, and then they developed a relationship with each other. So this is the part of the movie, and then a group of guys come in, right? Oh, and also for his son's birthday, the guy who was cellmates with the other guy who helped him have contact with his son, he got one of his mates to deliver to the house where the kid lived, some shoes for his birthday. So they're starting to slowly develop a relationship together. But the lad who he's with, right, with him knowing where the son is, that nearly went really badly, and I'll get into that at the end of the review. Yeah, that nearly went really, really bad. But so a group of guys come in, attacked the mouthy guy, who was like being cocky. They beat the shit into him, and at this time, this other guy, who his cellmate like helped him get his son back, right? He just stood there and didn't do shit. He didn't try and fight him. He didn't try and stop him hitting him. He just stood there and did nothing and crying like a bitch. He didn't even try and help him. And I thought that was really ungrateful of him, because he just helped you find your kid and have contact with your kid. Then you let him get battered like that. They beat the shit into him. They stabbed him in like the cut of the kidney. It didn't kill him. It just bled a bit, and then he got taken to. They knocked him out with a snooker ball in a sock. Smacked it across his head, knocked him out cold. And before that, some punches to the face, and just ganged up on him. And they wanted the drug off him, and he kept saying to him with a knife to his throat, "Where is the drug? Where is it? Where is it?" And at first he said, I don't know. Then he said, all right, it's there, it's near the toilet. And then they broke into near the toilet and got it out. And then the few lads who attacked his cellmate, they also video recorded this. They then lifted him up and said, hit him, while he was still unconscious. And the pussy hit him while he was unconscious. I was like, this is a complete pussy. He really was. Yeah, so his cellmate who got beat up ended up going into hospital for a few days. And then he comes back. He's really beat up, so he can't get revenge yet. He's not at full strength. And then he plans a plot to get revenge on him. And then what happens? I'm trying to think what happens next. That's it. And then hold on a sec, guys. Because it's been a few hours since I've seen it. I'm trying to remember exactly what happens next, and then towards the end. That's it. He then gets revenge on him eventually a few days later and attacks him, and one of his friends who was in another prison with him comes to that wing. So now he's got a bit of a backup with one of his friends who come in. And then the guy who he is cellmates with, he then got sent the video of what happened to him when he got knocked out cold, and he's seen the video of his cellmate hitting him and standing there and doing shit, and then obviously getting beat up. So the guy who comes back from, I think, the shower doesn't know he's seen the video. Then when the door's closed and they're both locked in together, he beats the shit into him. He battered him. And he said, you left them there to beat the shit into me. And then he just threatened him. And he also said, if you don't do this for me, you know your son, I'm going to get him taken out. I'm going to get him killed. I know where he lives. So he tries to get him to stab one of the guys, but he don't. And let's just say, without saying what happens, he gets his cellmate before he can kill his son. And then he gets released the next day and it's done. He won. So it's a good movie. Really, really good movie. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good drama movie. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. Yeah. There was another prison movie with Noel Clarke. Oh, what was it called? Yeah, that there's a couple of other ones like Shawshank Redemption, that's good. And there's a couple of other prison TV shows like is it Wentworth Prison, a woman's prison in the Australia. There's Prison Break. That's a good TV prison series. Oh, and also Alcatraz, where they escape Alcatraz. That's a good prison movie. So I've recommended you a few prison movies and a few prison TV shows. Right, let's rate this movie out of 10. I really enjoyed this. It's better than the last night's movie. I enjoyed it more. It had more of an interesting story, in my opinion. But the last movie was alright though. It weren't bad. It was just, yeah, it was alright. It was okay. but this one was better. But yeah, it was good. It was good. I'd recommend people to go see it. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. Really good movie. And if you enjoy prison TV shows, prison movies, go watch it. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. It's, from what I hear, like people who I've know who's been in and told me stories, yeah, it sounds realistic. It's a very realistic movie of how prisoners, from what people's told me who has been in. So yeah, go watch it. It's called Wasteman. Yeah, good movie. I really enjoyed it. And hope you enjoyed my bonus food review as well, the nachos and drink. And I'll be back tomorrow with another movie review with Matt for the Charlie XCX Moment movie. So, hope you enjoyed the movie review. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.